are. You were assaulted in Central Park. Your valet was knocked on the head and kidnapped, and an attempt made to get him to take payment and spy upon you. At that time I told a certain man who had the handling of the affair that there could be no more violence. We should not break a law to undo you, I declared. If we did that, we were as bad as you. I said that, if there was any more violence, I should cease having anything to do with the affair, and would come to you and tell you so. An hour ago I found out that Detective Farland, a man in your employ, had been seized and treated with violence and was being held prisoner because he insisted upon remaining loyal to you. So I am here." "This is amazing, Miss Gilbert," Sidney Prale told her. "The whole thing has been amazing. Somebody has tried to connect me with that murder. Somebody tried to smash my alibi. The little annoyances were bad enough, and the knowledge that I had unknown foes who fought in the dark, but the murder charge was the worst of all, for it placed me in a position where I had to clear myself absolutely, or remain forever suspected by many persons." "I understand that," Kate Gilbert said. "And now you have come to me to say that you are no longer associated with my enemies?" "For what you did there can be no forgiveness, Mr. Prale. I want to see you punished. But I will not be a party to violence. It seems to me that the man who has been managing this affair has gone beyond proper bounds. For some reason he is particularly vindictive, though he did not suffer at all, as did some of the others. I cannot forgive you for what you did, Sidney Prale. But I can wash my hands of the entire affair and try to forget you entirely, and hope that there is a law of retribution that will take vengeance for me. That is all, Mr. Prale. Only please remember that, from this hour, I am not concerned with the others in this affair." She started to rise, but Prale motioned for her to retain her seat. He bent forward and looked at her searchingly. "I am very glad that you have come here and spoken to me in this way, Miss Gilbert," he said. "I scarcely know how to express what I feel that I must tell you. I have listened to you patiently, without interruption. Will you be kind enough to listen to me for a moment now?" "I'll listen, though it will be useless," she said. "When I left Honduras, Miss Gilbert, I was a happy man. I had made my pile and was coming home. I had left 10 years before because a selfish woman, whom I imagined I loved, jilted me for a wealthier man. That wound had healed, and when I left Honduras, I did not think that I had an enemy in the world, unless it was some poor devil of a disgruntled native workman I had been forced to discharge, or somebody like that. I believed those notes on the ship to be in the nature of a jest, or else that somebody was making a mistake. Then troubles began, and I was at a loss to understand them. Next came the murder charge. We will put that aside for the moment, for it seems to be the result of circumstantial evidence and probably has nothing to do with the other affair, merely a coincidence. Miss Gilbert, look at me. I want you to believe what I am going to say. You must believe it. In the name of everything I hold sacred, I swear to you that I do not know those foes of mine, or the reason for their enmity." "How can I believe that?" she cried. "Why should you ask me to believe such a statement?" "Because I want some light on this subject, Miss Gilbert, and I am determined to get it. There is some terrible mistake. I am being punished for the fault of some other person." "Can you not remember back 10 years?" she asked. "Easily. I can live over again the last day I spent in New York 10 years ago." "And the few days before that time?" "Certainly, Miss Gilbert." And yet you ask why others should seek to punish you? Perhaps you are one of those men whose natures are so dishonorable that you think you did nothing wrong at that time. So it was then that I was supposed to have done this terrible thing, whatever it was? As you know, Mr. Prale. But I do not know, Miss Gilbert. To the best of my recollection, I left New York without having done anything in the least dishonorable, and certainly I did nothing to merit a band of enemies working against me. What is it that you wish me to do? She asked. Be fair with me, Miss Gilbert. I tell you that there is some terrible mistake. If I am supposed to know all about this, what harm can there be in your repeating the details to me? Tell me what crime I am supposed to have committed to merit this attack. Give me a chance to prove my innocence. The common thug gets that chance in a court of law, you know. But this is ridiculous, she exclaimed. There can be no question of it. The whole thing came out at the time. Then do you not wish to be fair? Prale asked. I cannot allow you to say that. I will tell the story to you, Mr. Prale, tell exactly what you did, as you know very well, if that will be any satisfaction to you. But it will do you no good to deny it. Tell me, Sidney Prale said. End of chapter 22. Recording by Roger Moline.